Okay, good day, everyone. If you can see the slide and hear my voice, can you please give a smiling face or thumbs up? Thank you very much. So we only have half of the students here. Still many students are missing. If your group member are not here, please ask them to join us now. All right. So good day, everyone. Today we are going to start on our first chapter, chapter 1, the concept of big data analytics. Again, please mute yourself. This is a big group. When you didn't mute yourself, we can hear you. Okay, this is the QR code for attendance for ABW 501. Conventional student, please scan the QR code for the attendance. Otherwise, you can go to your e-learning portal and record your attendance. For E&B student or ABW 501D student, no need to record your attendance. I repeat, no need to record your attendance for ABW 501D. All right, so let us start with today's chapter, concept of big data analytics. So what you need to know for this chapter, this slide is available in your e-learning portal. Let me stop and go to e-learning portal to show you, because last week at the end of the lecture, then there are students say cannot find the slide. So please go to e-learning portal. For ODL student, go to ODL platform. Okay, you see here chapter 1, concept in big data analytics. So as I mentioned last week, the first slide here, okay, the slide here, it is the recording video, pre-recording video. And this slide, chapter 1 summary, is the one that I'm using now. Okay, I'm using this one to do the discussion. I have posted one table PDF file here. The table compare between Master of Business Analytics and Master in AI-driven management. We will discuss about this later. Okay, so these two files you can download and use it. Same for ODL student, go to odl.usm.my. Under the chapter 1 there, go down, other material, the slide is here, and the PDF file is here. So for ODL student, after the WebEx session, I will upload the recording here. Okay, and for ODL student, you need to complete chapter 1 exercise after today's lesson. Okay, for ODL student only. ODL means ABW 501D. You need to complete this exercise because you don't need to take attendance. So how do we know you already do chapter 1? We base on this exercise. Okay, so now let me come back to my PDF file. So download the two files that you need to refer. Okay, we're sharing my file now. Okay, I think you already can see it. Okay, so what we are going to discuss is the summary, as I told you earlier. So we are going to discuss the importance of analytics in today's business environment and the 4V of big data, evolutions of business analytics, and concept of BI, operation research OR, and management science MS, and decision support system DSS. Okay, and we also will discuss, most importantly, the scope of business analytics. So this one, every one of you must know. Very, very popular question in the exam. We have descriptive analytics. Okay, we have predictive analytics, and we have prescriptive analytics. In between here, I will add one later, the diagnostic analytics. So in your syllabus, you need to know 4 types of analytics. Start from descriptive to diagnostic to predictive and to prescriptive analytics. And then number 6, we are going to talk about data, data set, and database. In the exam, the question usually asks the differences between them. You need to know how to difference between them. And number 7, the type of metric. You will be curious why you need to learn about statistics here. Because for business analytics, you need to do machine learning model. So in order to do machine learning model, you need to understand the type of variable. You need to understand the type of metric. So we will discuss the type of variable. We will discuss the type of metric or the scale of measurement. And then the 3 forms of a model in business analytics. So we will see beside the mathematical model, what are the other type of models we use in business analytics. And build simple mathematical model using inference diagram. So you will see how to draw this diagram. Okay. And then the nature of decision model. So we have 2 types of model. One is the stochastic model, and another one, the nature of decision model is more on the models, the machine learning models that you build. We will discuss about this later. And then there are 2 terms that we usually see in the modeling. Uncertainty. Another one is risk. So we want to know what are the differences between uncertainty in the model and the risk in the model. And in terms of the decision model, this one, in terms of this decision model, we have 2 types, deterministic and the stochastic decision model. So later on, we will discuss what are the differences between these 2. And last but not least, there are 6 steps for problem solving or 6 phases of problem solving in the business analytic project. So we will walk through what are the 6 problem solving phases. Okay, so let's go through. So you can imagine the content are quite rich. If I really walk you through page by page, then it will be a very boring, long 3 hours. That's why you need to watch the pre-recording video that have each and every section in detail. For the summary session, we will just walk through the summary for each of these sections. Okay? Now, let me see. I think there's one question in the chat box. The exercise is individual or group. Okay, for the E and this exercise, it is individual exercise, not group exercise, right? Okay, now the first question, what is business analytics? Scan this QR code and I want you to answer in the Padlet, okay? No need to write long paragraph or long sentences. I only want the keywords. Okay, so please scan the QR code. It will lead you to the Padlet. And then at the bottom right of the Padlet, you can type the answer. Don't look at the answer in the slide given to you. Try to answer it by yourself. Okay. I can hear noise, huh? Okay. For the exercise, you are given 2 weeks to complete it. Okay, so you are given 2 weeks to complete the exercise. Okay, I think some of you have already answered that. We have how many students here? We have 485 students, but only about 10 students answer me. So let's try to answer it. Scan the QR code, go to Padlet and answer it. Okay, let me put the link in the chat box for you. If you cannot scan, then you just click the link. Okay, I put the link in the WebEx chat box. You can click the link to answer. Okay, let me open your answer? Okay, very good. Now I can see many students trying to answer. Very good. Okay, I'm trying to share your answer. Just give me a second. Okay, so why I asked you to answer here is so that later on all of you still can read the result. Okay. Wait, now I'm trying to move away this one blocking me. Okay. All right, so let's look at the answer from your friend. We can see there are some keyword data. Okay, analyze various data. I can see majority of you write that about data. Some of you talk about business decision. Okay, I can see business decision there. Some of you talking about solution. Okay, there are some solution there. Okay, collect data, make decision, solution, data analytic. These are some of the keywords that I can see here. We'll move to the last part. Very good. I can see quite many of you trying to answer. Analysis. Okay, business, decision, problem solving. Not really problem solving. It is more on analyze the data. I still missing one keyword. I'm still looking for one keyword that I cannot find. I can find data, I can find decision, I can find business, I can find method. Okay, analytic method, statistical method. There's still one keyword missing. Yeah, now I saw it. Okay, insight. Okay, there's another keyword insight. All right, very good. Good trial. Okay, let me share the answer. Okay, so I can see quite many of you joining and trying to answer. Okay, 222 answered. Very good. Thank you very much for your participation. Okay, let me show the answer. Okay, so most of you, the most important keywords that you identify there is the data. Okay, I can see more than 70% of you written then data. And many of you also write the keyword decision. These are the top two keywords I can observe from your answer just now. So what is business analytics? In short, it is the process by which business use the statistical method and also the technology to analyze the historical data. And from the data, we want to gain some new insight from your data. And then we improve the strategy by decision making, which means you are taking the action. So this data, insight, action, basically, there are your business analytics. So first thing first is you must have the data. So where the data come from? It come from your business. And then from the business data, you will gain some insight. And from the insight, you were able to decide what action you want to take. I still can hear noise. Please mute yourself because this is more than 500 students. When you are moving without mute yourself, everyone can hear it. Okay. And you will ask, how is this different from 20 years ago or 30 years ago? When we don't have business analytics, when we only have business analysis, okay, when we only have business analysis, what are the differences? 20 years ago, 30 years ago, our statistical method and our technology is not that matured. So now we already have some advanced technology. We already have a very advanced statistical method or tools that can help us to do our business decision, to make our business decision. Okay. Now, business analytics have three main elements. The first element is the statistic. Just now you see, right? The statistical tools. So statistic or mathematics. That is the first element. Stat or maths. The second element, what about the second element? Which is the modeling and optimization. Or sometimes you will see some people put it as computer science. Okay, computer science or IT, information technology. Okay, and the third element is more on the business and the management. Here, your textbook put business intelligence and information system. Some people will use as business or management. These are the main three elements that form the business analytics. So you can see why me, Dr. Ng, and also Dr. Aisha is teaching you. You actually are super lucky. You have three of us from different fields. Me, my background is from statistics and mathematics. And Dr. Aisha, her background is from computer science or more on IT part. And Dr. Ng is more on the business and management part. So three of us is actually the best combination of business analytics. So that's why when you learn about business analytics, you see some of your subjects are more on the statistical mathematics part. Some of your subjects like machine learning, okay, are more on the computer science and IT part. And some of your subject is more on business and management. So that is how it formed the business analytics. Okay. And during the orientation, our Dean, Prof. Haslina, have shared about a new upcoming program for School of Management. So next year, expecting October next year, we are going to launch this Master in AI-driven Management. And my next question will be, what is the differences or what are the differences between Master of Business Analytics and Master in AI-driven Management? So this is like when we launched this new program 6 years ago, people keep asking us, what is the differences between Master of Data Science and Master of Business Analytics? I will talk about it in the next slide. So let us discuss about these two. So why I want you to know this? Because you, as a Master of Business Analytics student, you should know what you learn and how the things that you learn different from other people. Okay, so this is your selling point, and this will be the point that make your CV or resume stand out. Okay, so for MBIS, I will say MBIS is easier for me, and MAIM for the Master of AI-driven Management. The focus for MBIS student, you need data, and you make decision based on the data that you have. That's why just now you see data inside action, data inside decision. So that's why you need data. You make data-driven decision making through analytics or through data analytics. What about MAIM? The Master of MAIM, they are more focusing on strategy management. And they do this strategy management using or leveraging the AI technology. Technical emphasis for you, you are focusing on analytics and the data tools. So you will learn software like Python, you will learn Tableau or Power BI, okay, and so on. For MAIM, they are more on the AI system and more on the automation. So for the practical component, you will have your ABW 508, your analytic lab. Analytic lab is more on the capstone project using the real business data. Of course, some of you, because you are not in the industry, you cannot get the real data. So you can download the data from the internet, such as the what website that we usually use to download the data? Kaggle. Okay, you can download the data from Kaggle. You can use the data from GitHub. Very good, thank you. Okay, and MAIM, when they do the project, most of the time they do on the digital transformation project, like how to transform their department, how to transform their industry to AI-driven industry. So it is more on AI strategy or the digital transformation project, which is quite different from the business analytic lab project. Okay, so eventually the career path for the Master of Business Analytics student is you can become business analyst, you can become BI, business intelligence specialist, or sometimes if those who are very good in the hands-on, you can become data scientist as well. Okay, but for the MAIM, they are more focusing on the AI project manager, digital strategy consultant. You can see the left side one is more a little bit more technical person compared to the right side one. Okay, and the orientation is you are more data focused business improvement. Whereas for MAIM, they are AI enabled leadership and the innovation. Okay, so these are the basic differences. If you want to learn the very detailed differences, I have shared one summary file in PDF format. I stopped sharing. I'm going to open the file. Okay, I shared that file. Just now I asked you to download 2 files from your eLearn or ODL. So one of the file is this file. Okay, I put out the very detailed comparison between the 2 programs. So you can take a look to understand further. So you see, these are the software that normally business analysts learn, but these software are those software should be learned by MAIM student. Okay, so it is quite different because they serve different purposes. Okay, so the details I put out here, you can read it afterward. All right. Okay, so tips final exam, I may ask this type of question because you need to know the differences. Okay, let me see. I think there are some questions in the chat box. Okay, it's just a comment. Thank you. All right. Okay, so just now I promised you that I will also show you the differences for these 3 masters. So this is you, Master of Business Analytics. Let me circle this one. This is you. Okay, so compared to the Master of Data Science, which is offered by most of the time, this program is part under the computer science, the School of Computer Science. Why? Because you look at here, their computer science element is more heavy. So they are strong in algorithm. They are more on data engineering and also to develop the machine learning model. So their primary focus on the computer science oriented. Of course, they also need statistics or mathematics. They need a little bit of business and management knowledge. Okay, for Master of Business Analytics, our main focus is still on the business and management part. So out of the 10 core subjects that you need to take, you will notice that most of them are still the business and management subject. Okay, you need to know a little bit on the modeling, like machine learning model. You learn about statistic courses. So these are the components. And you also learn about computer science and IT knowledge, such as the software part. So you are strong in data analytics, especially to gain the business insight. Remember, data, insight, action, or data, insight, decision. So your primary oriented is more on the management and decision making. What about the new program that I mentioned just now? The core element is still business and management, but they will be more focusing on the AI technology comparing to the statistical modeling and mathematic modeling part. So it balanced, but it learned toward the strategy management of AI technology. It is a balance between these two, but it's more lean toward the strategy management of the AI technology. And it focuses on how leader can manage, can integrate, can apply AI in the organization. Not on the coding, not on the algorithm development. Coding and algorithm development is more on the data science. Okay, data engineer, data science, they are doing that. For MAIM, you are not focusing on that. Okay, so these are the differences. So tips, this type of question, we can ask you to do the comparison in the exam. For example, we can ask you to compare between data scientists and business analysts in terms of statistic element, business element, and computer science element. Then you need to know how to explain the differences. The best way to answer this type of question is to create a comparison table. That is the best way. This type of question very popular in the final exam. Compare between data scientists and business analysts. Compare between business analysts and what is the name of the job just now? AI project manager. Then you need to know how to compare them. Okay? Any questions so far? If everything is clear, just give me a smiling face or thumbs up. If you have questions, please feel free to type in the chat box. Okay, very good. Thank you for your response. Why is this coming up? Okay, now I need your response again. So tell me, because majority of our students are China students, I think more than 70% are China students from this batch of students. So I put up some of the apps in China, most of the Chinese will use, like Weibo, Taobao, okay, Nestis, Tencent, Didi, Meituan, Zihu, Pinduoduo, Alipay, Meitu, WeChat, Tantan, Huya, and TikTok. Okay, for Malaysian, I know most of you are using like WhatsApp. Okay, maybe you are using Instagram, you are using like YouTube, so you can answer those. So I want to know which one is most relevant to you. Can you take out your mobile phone and scan this QR code and answer me? Okay, if you use, okay, some of you will ask Dr. Tan, I use WhatsApp. I also use WeChat. How should I answer? You are allowed to answer more than one answer. So please feel free to answer more than one answer. Okay. Either you use this link to answer, or you can scan the QR code. Yeah, I can see some response already. Okay, for Malaysian and Egyptian, I think most of you are using WhatsApp, Facebook, YouTube. You can type that, not necessary from here. Okay, any apps that you use it very frequently, let us know. Okay, don't answer in the Webex chat box. Please scan the QR code, answer in the Pool Everywhere. Okay, Pool Everywhere software. So I'm trying to use different software for you to learn, so that you can also pick up some of these apps, then you can use it later. So fast full already. Let me check. No, I still receiving some response. Or maybe those who join late, then it becomes full because we have 500 students here. Okay, no problem. So let us see those who already answer. Let me share the answer. So now you know what, you need to act fast because we have very big group of students. Okay, present it. Okay, so we can see from here, because majority of our students are China students, so we can observe here the highest number of students are using WeChat. So WeChat is number 1. Okay, number 2 apps here, I will say should be WhatsApp, because this WhatsApp and WhatsApp, I believe, is the same. Okay, so WhatsApp could be the second one. And the third one, it could be TikTok or Instagram. Okay, TikTok and Instagram are about the same, maybe TikTok a bit bigger. Okay, so these 3 are the top apps that you are using. So from the data that I collected from you, okay, remember just now we need data. So from this data that I collect from you, I gain some insight. What are the insight that I gain? The insight that I gain is the top 3 apps that most frequently used by you all is the WeChat, WhatsApp, TikTok, and probably Instagram. Okay, I also have WhatsApp here. So from the insight, what are the actions that I can take, or what is the decision that I can take? Let's say, if I am selling something, okay, if I'm selling a new product, okay, if I'm selling a new, let's say, technology product, I want, you are my potential customer. So I'm selling a new product and you are my potential customer. When I launch my new product, my action will be, I will share the information about my new product to you through WeChat, through WhatsApp, and through TikTok or Instagram, because you will be able to see it, and there is a chance that you will buy it from me. So that's why this business analytic process is important. From the data, I gain the insight top 3. Then I know the action or decisions that I make is, I will reach you through WeChat, WhatsApp, TikTok, or Instagram. Understand? Okay. So this is how we get the data from our customer or from our client. Then we can make a useful decision from that. Okay, let me recheck. Yeah, no worry, because I think too many of the students already. So some of you not able to answer that. Don't worry. Okay, we already have sufficient data to make the decision. All right. Okay, so importance of analytics in today's business environment, the manager need to rely on fractured data and analysis to support the decision. It is not the old day that the manager or the boss always say, based on my experience, then I make this decision. This is a no in today's business world. You need to make the decision based on the data. From the data, you gain insight, then you make the decision. So it is a data-driven decision. Okay? Now, the next thing we are going to learn is the 5V of big data. In the textbook, 4V, but after that, people have extended to 5V, 6V, even 7V. You can find it from the internet or from the article. For your syllabus, we want you to focus on the 5V. You need to know this 5V. So most of the time, students will ask, how big is big? When we talk about big data, how big is big enough? If your client, if your boss asks you, how big is big? You tell your boss that I want big data. I want to do machine learning model. I want big data. Please give me big data. Your boss will ask you, how big is big? Is it I give you 300 sample, it is considered as big. So you need to know how to answer. These are the 5 V for the answer. First, of course, is the volume. The volume means the quantity. So how big is considered as big? It mentions that the data now is reached about 40 zettabyte, okay, created by 2020, and now it already increased more than 300 times. So it is no longer how many gig of data, it is how many zettabyte of data, how many terabyte of data. Okay, so the first big is the volume must be big enough, the quantity. Volume means the quantity. The second V is the velocity. Velocity talk about the speed. In one word, velocity is the speed. How fast the data reach you. That's why now we're talking about streaming the data, real-time data. So that is the speed that we want. We want real-time data. It is no longer just the historical data. Okay, so the second V is velocity or the speed. The third V is verity. What is the meaning of verity? Verity means different form of data. For example, some of you, when you post in the Facebook, when you post in your Xiaohongshu, maybe you just post the photo. Some of you, you may post the data in terms of the text. Some of you, maybe you will record your voice and also the image, you share it in terms of video. So this type of photo, text, video, they are different form of data. So this is called the verity of data. Okay, so volume is the quantity, velocity is the speed, verity is the different form of data. Number 4, we talk about value. So if you only collect the data, you do nothing to the data, then you will not value. So just now, if I ask you to answer, then I just show you. Okay, you have WeChat, we have TikTok, we have WhatsApp, we also have Instagram, we have TT, we have what else is on I see? Let me see. Okay, Taobao, we have Taobao, we have Weixin. Okay, so if I only see this type of data, I did not do anything, then I will not get value. Value, it could be in terms of money. So just now I said, if I want to launch a new product, I will send the information to you through WeChat, WhatsApp, and also TikTok or Instagram. So I am leveraging the data. I am using the data to make value to my business. So value, which means the price, the money that you gain, the revenues that you gain from the data. Okay. And number 5, the last V is veracity. So veracity means the uncertainty of the data or the accuracy of the data. Nowadays, there are too many information sharing in the internet. How reliable is the data? How accurate is the data? This is the veracity of the data. Okay, I think some of you put up there speed of the data. Okay, or someone says speed of the data, that is the velocity. Okay, accurate and reliable of the data. So that is this part, veracity. Veracity talking about the uncertainty, the accuracy of the data, the reliability of the data. All right. So now this is what you need to know. Let's recap. I repeat many times because I want you to remember. Okay. What is the differences between veracity and verity? Okay, Verity, as I said just now, different type of data. Veracity is more on the uncertainty of the data, the accuracy of the data, the reliability of the data. So that is the differences. If your data fulfill these 5V, that means you have big data. So don't just simply answer your client that in terms of volume, then you say, okay, you have big data already. We are not just talking about volume. We need to look at the real-time data. We need to look at the different source of data. We need to see whether your data can make value to the business or not. We need to also see whether your data is reliable, accurate or not. If all these 5 we fulfill, that means yes, you have big data. Okay? All right, very good. Okay, any question for this? If clear, just give me a smiling face or thumbs up. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so at least I know you are listening if you give me response. Okay, now let us look at the evolutions of business analytics. So before we have business analytics, what we actually have. So how business analytics become business analytics? Long time ago, start from 1958. So all of us, I believe, all of us is still not here. So BI, we have this term called business intelligence, not Bahasa English, business intelligence BI. It start from 1985. Business intelligence, we are collecting the data. We try to do some management. We do some analysis and we do some reporting of the data. So this term is start from the IBM. IBM is a very popular company. IBM researcher, they call themselves as business intelligence or BI specialists. Okay, so BI specialists start from 1985. After some time, it evolved into more modern discipline. We call it as information system. So you know why from the traditional way we can have information system? Because we start to have computer. Okay, we start to have more established system that can support the business. So it evolved to become information system. And later on, it moved to statistics. So you see, business and management, computer science and IT information system. And then people start to build model. People start to, how to say, they try to find the pattern or relationship between the variable. They build model like regression model. They do some data mining. Long time ago, you always hear people say data mining. Sorry, MI, data mining. So data mining is started from here. So it is regressions, data minings, and forecasting. People start to use statistical modeling. And later on, we have this term called OR, operation research or management science. So operation research, most of the time, this term is used in the School of Mathematical Sciences. They call as operation research. It basically similar or very similar with management science in the School of Management. So if you look at 10 years ago, the university program, or 20 years ago, the university program, operation research, they always park in the School of Mathematical Sciences. Management science, they always park under the School of Management. So just a different name only. So these two, they do modeling, they do optimization. So instead of just build the model, they're looking for optimization. They want the best solution, the optimized solution. So this is how people go into OR and MS. And then after that, quite recent year, when we combine the business intelligence, we combine the OR or MS, it becomes decision support system or DSS. In the industry, you always see they use the short form DSS. This start with the analytic-based computer system to support the decision making. So after that, people come with data science, and then people come with business analytics. So this is how they evolve, okay, from traditionally until the modern data scientists or business analysts. All right. Okay, Osama comment that business analysis is essential a mixture of all those disciplines, correct? Business analytic, not business analysis. Analysis and analytic are different. Okay, analysis is a wider scope. Analytic means you use the mathematics. Okay, you see, analysis and analytic, the difference come from here. That's why the definition is important. When you have statistical method come in, when you have technology come in, it becomes business analytic. The very traditionally, when people talking about business analysis. So business analysis, not necessary that you need to use the statistical method and the advanced technology. So that is their differences. Okay. All right. Now let's move on. Okay. This is one of the very important slide in chapter 1. So I need your attention. Okay, I need your attention on this. 4 types of data analytics you must know. Every business analytics student must know 4 types of business analytics. The first type, we call it descriptive analytics. So as we can see from the term descriptive means describe. So we describe what has happened based on the historical data. For example, when we talk about COVID, during the COVID time, there are many people flu, there are many people sick. So the first question we ask is what has happened? So the answer is because of COVID. Then people will go to visit doctor. Doctor will do the diagnostic. So diagnostic analytic talk about why did it happen. So this is like doctor. When you go to see the doctor, you say, doctor, I flu. I feel like I cannot breathe. I feel like I have high fever. So the doctor will diagnose and doctor check and found out that why it happened, because you got the Delta virus or because you got the Omicron virus and so on. So based on the performance data, the blood test and so on, doctor understand that you got COVID because of the COVID virus. The third type of analytic is predictive analytic. Predictive, you are doing forecasting. You want to forecast, you want to estimate what will happen in the future. So predictive, it have not happened. You are trying to forecast, you are trying to find out what is going to happen, what will happen in the future. Okay, so that is predictive analytic. And number 4, we call it as prescriptive analytic, like prescribe. Okay, again, when you see the doctor, doctor will prescribe you with the medicine. So prescriptive analytic means how can we make it happen? Basically, this is on the optimization part. Of course, for the COVID case, we are not trying to make more COVID happen. When we say how can we make it happen, means how can we reduce the COVID cases among the citizens? So what our government, like Malaysian government, what we did is the government will highly recommend our citizen to take the vaccine. Okay, to take the, sorry, spelling error. Okay, when I'm talking and writing at the same time, that is the problem. Okay, so the government will highly encourage all the citizens to take the COVID vaccine so that we can, in this case, the optimization is to reduce the COVID cases. So optimization, in the next slide, I will tell you, optimization, there are two parts. Either we want to maximize it or we want to minimize it. If we talking about profit or revenue, can you tell me for profit or revenue, we want to maximize it or we want to minimize it? Can you type in the chat box? When I talk about optimization, I'm talking about profit and revenue. I want to maximize it or I want to minimize it. Let me see the answer. Okay, very good. Nurul, very fast. Nurul Faiza, the first answer. Until my last one come out here is Menat Allah. Okay. Hey, how come I see one minimize? Wang, what are you doing? Okay, so your company will close down if you want to minimize profit and revenue. So by right profit and revenue, we want to maximize it when we talk about optimization. Now, my next question. If I talk about defect, okay, if I talk about defect, if I talk about failure, so defect and failure, optimization, I want to increase the defect and failure, or I want to minimize the defect and failure. Can you tell me in the chat box? Okay. She is the first one who answer very fast. Why I have a combination? Why someone want to maximize the defect and failure? Oh my goodness. Okay. For defect and failure, it is not good. Something that not good, when we talk about optimization, we want to minimize it. Okay, so you have to read the question very carefully. When we talk about optimization, if it's a negative thing, we want to minimize it. When we talk about optimization, if it's a positive thing like profit and revenue, we want to maximize it. Okay, so please remember this. So optimization is under prescriptive. Okay, let me clean this up a little bit. And look at the arrow here. Okay, you look at the arrow here. When we move from descriptive to prescriptive, the arrow here moving from hindsight to insight to. You can read this book. If you want to know better about analytics, you can read this book on competing on analytics. Okay, so the descriptive analytic, it is more on understanding something that already happened. Okay, understand a situation only after it has happened. So we say hindsight. In Mandarin, there is one term that is very good in explaining hindsight. Okay, please allow me to say one term in Mandarin. 事后诸葛亮. 事后诸葛亮 meaning hindsight. Something already happened, the situation already happened, and you only talk about it after it already happened. Insight. Insight means the capacity to gain an accurate and deep intuitive about a situation. Remember just now, I collect the data from you. I collect all your data, and you tell me that WeChat, WhatsApp, TikTok, and Instagram. From your data, I gain the insight. So the insight is my deep intuitive about a situation. And what about foresight? Foresight means you have the ability to predict the future. Predict what is going to happen in the future. Imagine this is like the rich or the wizard. They taking the crystal ball, then they trying to see what is going to happen in the future. So that is foresight. Okay, when you move from descriptive to diagnostic to predictive to prescriptive, you are moving from hindsight to insight to foresight. So one of your subject that you are going to learn is the foresight strategy foresight. So strategy foresight is talking about the future, predicting the future, forecasting the future. Okay, so I hope you are very clear with this. And there is one extra information that you also need to understand here. When you move from the descriptive to the prescriptive, the level of difficulty is increasing. And if you look at the left side here, the value is also increased. Imagine if you can forecast what your customer want to buy. If you can predict, you can do prescriptive, and you understand what your customer want to buy, you build the product accordingly, your company will gain a lot of value, can gain money, can gain customer, can gain their trust. So that's why predictive and prescriptive is very, very useful. Okay. Now, let me see the chat box. Okay. Does diagnostic consider as hindsight or insight? Okay. Diagnostic, it is in between. Okay. When we move from descriptive to prescriptive, it is in between here. We usually don't exactly say that descriptive is hindsight, predictive is insight, prescriptive is foresight. You know that descriptive to diagnostic, it is moving the hindsight. Diagnostic to predictive, it is more on the insight. Predictive to prescriptive, it is more on the foresight. Okay, so this is how we read this diagram. Okay, is it possible for an organization to skip directly to foresight analytic without fully mastering hindsight and insight? Okay, usually when organization move, they will move it step by step. They don't suddenly jump to the predictive. For example, if you don't understand what was happened historically, how are you going to forecast what will going to happen in the future? So it is a step by step, okay, stage by stage. All right, very good question. Okay, so let's take a 5-minute break and we will come back to the next part. Okay, this side I'm not going to go through. Basically, the descriptive, the keyword is the past and current business performance. Diagnostic, as I say, like the doctor diagnosed why it happened. And predictive is more on predict the future. How to predict? It is based on the modeling pattern and the relationship. And prescriptive, the keyword is optimization, the best solution. Optimization means minimizing or maximizing depending on your objective in order to make the decision. Okay, so this slide is trying to help you summarize from descriptive to prescriptive. So let's take a short 5-minute break, then we will continue with the second part. If you have questions, please feel free to put it in the chat box. Okay, now it's 8 o'clock exactly, Malaysia time. Please come back at 8:05. Okay, there are still some students have not registered your group. Okay, please go and register, complete your registration. Dr. Ng is kind enough to extend the registration until next week. There are a few groups, you only have 2 to 3 students. Please close your group and combine with other group. Otherwise, until the due date next week, we will stop the registration. If your group only got 3 members, that means 3 members will do the project. So please make sure you don't do that. Combine with other group. There are a few group with 3 members. Please combine with other group. Okay? All right. Okay, let me see. Okay, can you go back to the scope of business analytics again? Lucas, later on, after come back, I will go move there. What is the value in the 5V? Karim, as I said just now, the benefit like the money that the company earn or the benefit that the company earn. Okay, so let's take a short break, then we will come back. Okay, welcome back. If you are back, can you just give me some response? Thank you. Okay, just now I promised Lucas, let me see. Lucas want me to move to his slide. Scope of business analytics. This one, right, Lucas? Okay, what is your question? Lucas, you can unmute your mic or type in the chat box.
Yeah, hi. Can you hear me, doctor?
Yes, clear.
Okay. Yeah, thanks for moving it back. So I have a question actually. So for the business analytics, right, we're looking at hindsight, insight, and foresight, plus the descriptive all the way up to prescriptive.
Mm.
Is this a must in the process of business analytics, or I can make do with business analytics without one of the steps?
Without one of the steps, yes, you can. So our target, let's say if you are a business analytics student, most of the time when the student going to do your analytic lab project, I will suggest you to at least reach to the step of predictive analytics. Predictive analytics, for example, using machine learning, you build the machine learning model, that is considered as predictive analytics. If you only build the dashboard, only your dashboard only displayed like the average value of your sales, like the bar chart or histogram of the chart for your sales, for your revenue, and so on, that could be just stopped at the descriptive level. When you are reporting the maximum, minimum, average value, that is descriptive analytics. You are not trying to do any prediction. So when we are doing prediction, like you build the model, you're trying to predict whether the future trend is going upward, going downward, and so on. That is the predictive analytics. So you say some business, if they are not moving toward the business analytic, maybe they just stop at the descriptive analytic. It is still analytic, but you are only at the descriptive analytic level. Okay.
And is it right for me to say that in business analytics, any one of these steps that goes missing, I might get less accurate results?
No. It is just like a trend, you know. So if you are at the descriptive analytic, that means the difficulty level is very low. You are just like reporting your business sales average value, for example, the average sales value, your how many volume you have sales, how many quantity you have sold out. But when you go to predict, it is like you are trying to forecast next month how many quantity you should prepare, how many units you should develop so that you can fulfill the demand of your customer. You see the difference or not?
Okay. So can I
not
assume that?
necessary.
Sorry,
Yeah,
sorry, doctor. Sorry for cutting you off. Sorry.
it's okay. Yeah, just continue.
Yeah. Okay. So can I assume that descriptive is acknowledging pattern and predictive is forecasting for the future?
Descriptive is you are trying to find out what happened based on the historical data. Predicting is you're trying to find out what will happen in the future. You're trying to forecast what will happen in the future, depending on the trend, depending on the pattern.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
try to read more.
Right.
For example, like ChatGPT, and then create a table to compare the differences between descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive, like what I did here. Okay, of course, this one is more on the general summary. If you want more detail, then you can just ask DeepSeek, ChatGPT to come out with the table. Then you will have a better picture. Okay?
Okay. Thank you, doctor.
Welcome. Thus, we can say that descriptive is more on reporting. Yes, you can say that. Okay. Can we skip certain analytic? Let's say I only do descriptive, then I skip diagnostic and go to predictive. Yes, it is possible, Hanisa. Okay. All right. So now let's move on to, okay, wow, quite many questions on this. Okay, last question, Xia Yi.
Yeah, just on top of the Lucas questions, I just wonder, could
Mm.
I, based on the 4 types there, right, could I just mention like a descriptive, like a research problem? We identify what is the problem. This is what happened. Diagnostic is why it happened. We're finding the reasons. Then predictive,
Mhm.
how can use this one for to serve a purpose, and how to the like a prescriptive is like a part of the optimizations. We want to solve the
Yes,
problem. So this is the
yes,
whole process flow. Is it
correct. The
what
way
I
you
understand?
interpret it is correct. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, can. Thank you. Thank you, doctor.
You're welcome. Okay, very good. So at least I know you guys are paying attention. Very good. Okay. Now let us move on to the next part. I need to speed up a little bit because later on I need to give about 30 minutes for Dr. Ng to do the trial run on the quiz, because next week you will have quiz, right? So this week we will give you a trial run on that. So that's why I need to speed up a little bit. Let me mute one because I can hear some noise. Okay. So the next part is more on data, data set, and database. When you open your Excel, you create column, you create the row, and then you put in the information. So this is considered as the data. For example, I have your name list for ABW501. So I have all together, now we already reached to 650 students today. For ABW501 and ABW501D combined, we already have 650 students. So let's say I have your name, I have your metric number, okay? I have your gender, male and female, okay? And I have a list of the courses that you are taking. So when I create a worksheet like this, it is called the data, okay? And then when I compile all this data, let's say I open many Excel file, the first, remember I told you that I'm teaching 4 different subjects. So one attendance list for one subject. So I have a few data I combine together, it become data set. Okay, so if I have 4 courses, the name list for the 4 courses combined together, it become data set. And when we have many data set, we combine together, we keep it in the database. Okay, so combine many data set, it become a database. For example, I teach 4 courses, I have name list, student name list for the 4 courses. Dr. Ng teach 5 courses. Dr. Ng has student name list for the 5 courses. Okay, Dr. Aisha teach 2 courses. Dr. Aisha has student name list for the 2 courses. So when we combine all these 11 data set into School of Management student name list, then we keep it in the School of Management database. Okay, so data combined become data set combined become database. So you need to know the correct term to be used. Okay, it is not difficult, but just to use the correct terms. Data, data set, database. All right. Okay, now for variable. Variable, there are 2 types of variable you have to know. One is the qualitative variable. Qualitative means categorical data. Okay, categorical data, for example, marital status. When we say single, married, divorced, this category is qualitative variable. Eye colors, for example, some people have black eye color, some people have brown color, green color, blue color. So this type of color, we categorize that it is qualitative variable. Quantitative, we also call it as a numerical variable. If it's a numerical variable, you need to know whether it is discrete metric or continuous metric. How to differentiate between these two? Let me teach you an easy way. Discrete metric, you can count it. For example, number of order. If I go to McD, I order the food. I order 5 burger. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something that you can count, it is a discrete metric. For example, defect per hour. Let's say if I produce calculator, okay, if I produce calculator, so I produce 100 unit of calculator in 1 hour, I want to know how many defect of this calculator. Let's say 2 out of 100. So I can count 1 defect, 2 defect. Okay, something that you can count, it is discrete quantitative variable. What about continuous metric? Continuous metric, you need to measure it using a machine or using a device. For example, the weight, the height, okay? Your height, your weight, you need to standing on the measurement scale machine. You need to use the ruler to measure how tall are you. So weight and machine, you need something to measure it. Then it is a continuous metric. For example, length, you also need a ruler to measure it. So something to measure it, we call it continuous quantitative variable. Okay? So why you need to know this? For example, if you do visualization, you're using Power BI, you're using Tableau, you want to plot the chart. For bar chart, okay, if you want to plot a bar chart, you need to use qualitative data. If you want to plot a histogram, you must use quantitative variable. So that's why if you are a business analyst, you don't know qualitative and quantitative, you will not able to choose the correct data visualization method. Hence, it is important to know the type of variable. Okay. Now, the next part will be the type of measurement scale. So after the variable, we split into 4 types of measurement. The lowest level of measurement is the nominal level. The highest level of measurement is the ratio level. For nominal level, the data may only be classified or categorized. For example, just now when we say about the marital status, okay, single, married, divorced. So this is categorized only. So it is nominal level of measurement scale. For example, type of the football player. The earlier slide, your original textbook slide use the number of football player. Number of football player is not nominal level. Number of football player, you can count how many of them. So it is a quantitative variable. Okay, so please change it to type of football player if you use the original slide. Car brand. For example, Toyota, Honda, Proton, okay, and so on. So car brand, it is the nominal measurement scale. When your data can be ranked, the ranking is important. We call it as ordinal measurement scale. Order. Ordinal come from the term order. Order is important. The ranking is important. For example, your rank in the class or the evaluation scale. Let me make it a bit bigger here. So poor, fair, good, excellent. Poor means very, very bad. Excellent means very, very good. So the ranking here is important. So we call it as a ordinal level of measurement scale. What about interval and ratio? Interval, there is a meaningful differences between the value. So 2 unit difference, for example, 10 unit difference. Here put 10 Celsius. Okay, so when we say positive 10 degree of Celsius, that means the weather or the temperature is higher, you become hot. When we say negative 10, that means the weather is colder, so you will feel cold. Okay, so there is a differences between the unit. The dress size, for example, S, SML. So SML, small, medium, and large. So there is a meaningful differences between the value. S means small, M means medium, large means bigger size. Okay, and this is called interval measurement scale. What about ratio measurement scale? There is a true 0 point and ratio between the value. For example, number of patients seen. Let's say if I'm a doctor, I just come to work, I never seen any patient yet. So the number of patients seen is 0. The 0 means I have not met any patient yet. For example, number of sales call made. So if I am a sales girl, I'm calling to my customer. But today, I did not make any call yet. So the number of call is 0, meaning I did not call any customer yet. Distance to the class. Let's say if I'm standing in Dr. Ng class, SK4. So you ask me what is the distance to SK4? I'm standing there. So 0 kilometer. So the 0 means no distance. So that is the true 0 point for this one ratio. When we talk about interval, let's say I say 0 degrees Celsius. Is that mean no temperature? Can you tell me if I say 0 degrees Celsius, is that mean no temperature? 0 degrees Celsius, is that mean no temperature? Okay, so you see, majority of you telling me that no. 0 degrees Celsius, it is a freezing point for water. For water to become ice. 0 degrees Celsius, your water will become ice. So 0 did not mean no temperature. There is not true 0 point. So these two students always confused. They don't know how to differentiate between interval and ratio. For ratio, the 0 is really a 0, which means no patient, no call, no distance. But for interval, when you say 0 degrees Celsius, it doesn't mean no temperature. When you say the dress size is 0, it doesn't mean no dress, which means the size is super, super small. 0 size almost not possible for us to wear. Okay, so that is the meaning. And observe that nominal and ordinal, they are qualitative variable. Whereas interval measurement scale and ratio measurement scale, they are for quantitative variable. Okay. Now, let me answer some of the questions in the chat box. Just now, there's one question. Can we say that ratio scale is most powerful because it allows all mathematical operations? Sure. It is not powerful, but we call it as the highest level of measurement scale. Nominal is the lowest scale, lowest measurement scale. Ratio is the highest measurement scale. It is not powerful, but in terms of lower and higher. Okay. And the next question I can read from here is how about weight? Okay, so Lucas say weight is an interval scale. So let's see weight. So if weight 0 kilogram, does it mean no weight? 0 kilogram, it means no weight, right? So by right, weight is considered as ratio measurement scale. Okay, weight is ratio measurement scale. No person or no weight, correct? Okay, so the correct answer should be ratio. All right. Now, let us move on. I have to move a little bit faster. I am supposed to pass to Dr. Ng 8:30, but I couldn't pass to him yet. Okay, so 3 forms of model in business analytics. The first one is using text. Text, we call it as written or verbal description. For example, when I talk to you, I say the rate of the sales starting small, and then after that, it began to grow, and eventually it increased over the time. And after that, it becomes saturated, and the rate becomes decreasing. So when I say this, I am using written or verbal description. This is the first form of model in business analytics. I know most of you, when talking about model, you will think about mathematic model like this, but it is not right in the business analytics. Not just the mathematic form is considered as model. This type of description, it is also considered as a model. The second type of model is through the visual way. Visual way, I will say it is the most easier way for us to understand. You see, what I describe here, I draw it here, you will see it very clearly. So it starts very small at the early stage, and then it began to grow and increase over the time. Then eventually it's saturated and it become straight already. It's saturated. So it began to decrease. So when I draw it, it will be easier for you to see it. Okay. So the third way is this type of drawing, it is an exponential trend. So exponential model, mathematically, this is how we write it. Okay. So there are three forms of model in business analytics: written form or text or verbal description, visual, and then mathematic model. When we talk about data storytelling, you need three parts. The first thing, of course, is your data storytelling. The second thing is your narrative. So my verbal part, my narrative part is the storytelling thing. Together with the third thing is your visualization. This part, visualization. So when these three combine together, we call it as data storytelling. Okay, data storytelling. Okay. So this one is just for your understanding, because you learn one of the subject is data visualization and storytelling. So you need to understand what is considered as data storytelling. If you only have data and visualization without narrative, it is not data storytelling. It is just data visualization. So that's why you need to have all these three elements in order to consider as a data storytelling. Okay. And the last one, inference diagram. So this question came out in the past year question also. So you need to draw a diagram based on the mathematical model. So you are giving the total cost, you are giving the fixed cost, you are giving the variable cost. You need to draw an inference diagram. So variable cost, it is formed by unit variable cost and quantity it produced. So these two combined together, fixed cost plus variable cost, it is your sales total cost. So this is how we draw the inference diagram. We call this diagram as an inference diagram. Okay. All right. So next part is the nature of decision model. I think there are some questions there. Okay, thank you. Your friends already helped to answer. Thank you. It is ratio. Weight and height is ratio scale of measurement. Thank you. Okay, so nature of decision model. So now we call this as a decision model. Why we call it as a decision model? Because you have these decisions that you want to make. The sales is your decision here. So you need to have input variable. This price, coupon, advertising, the relationship between the price and advertising, they are your input variable. And this is the mathematical models that combine your input model with your output measurement performance. Of course, the measurement performance here is your sales, meaning your sales is depending on the price. It is depending whether you give coupon to your customer or not, whether you do advertisement to promote your product or not. So all these input factor, they will influence your output performance. So this is called a decision model. You have the input, you have the output. So this is the decision model, right? Okay, now when you build model, most of the time you will hear two keywords, risk and uncertainty. Let's try to understand this statement. Risk is a measurable uncertainty. Uncertainty is unmeasurable risk. If you cannot understand for Mandarin, you can copy paste this and translate it into Mandarin so that it's easier for you to understand. So let us look at these two bottles. The left side bottle, we have some information that we can measure. Can you tell me in the chat box what type of measurable information you have on the left side? Can you tell me in the chat box what type of information that you can measure in the bottle on the left side? Okay. You can tell me what can you see from the left side? Very good. Color. From Chongling say color. Very good. Size. Good. You can see the color. You can see the size. What else you can see? Okay, very good. I see the number of the color marble. So you know how many number. Okay, very good. So number, size, amount, and also the color. So you have certain information about the left side bottle. You can predict it. You can imagine this is like the stock. When you invest in the stock market, you buy the share or you invest in the shares. This is like stock. You have certain information about the stock. For example, here I can know the color. There are three colors, red, blue, and yellow. I can see the size. There are big size, there are medium size, there are small size. And I can know the quantity. There are how many of them, roughly. On the right side bottle, this is uncertainty. This is like gambling. You can imagine this. I can hear the noise. Let me mute. Okay. Imagine this is like gambling. You don't know anything. You just put your money there and then you try to gamble. You don't know what is the size. You don't know what color inside. You don't know how many inside. You're just trying to put your money there and you gambling. Okay, so that's why we say risk is a measurable uncertainty. You are uncertain about it, but you have certain information. You can predict the size, you can predict the color, you can predict the quantity. Whereas uncertainty, there is no information. You are like bet. You are like putting your bet on the without any information. You just randomly put your bet. So it is like gambling. Uncertainty is unmeasurable risk. If we try to put it, risk is the subset of the uncertainty. Because risk, you have certain information. Uncertainty, you totally have no clue about it. Okay, you can imagine risk is like invest in stock, whereas uncertainty is like you are doing gambling. Okay, I'm trying to help you understand these two keywords. Okay, and the type of prescriptive decision model. So as I said earlier, prescriptive, we are focusing on optimization. Okay, so when we are building the prescriptive model, we are trying to do optimization. So when we talk about this model, prescriptive model, there are also two keywords that often see. One is deterministic model, and the second one is the stochastic model. So deterministic, determine, meaning it is certainty. Stochastic means like uncertainty. You are uncertain what is going to happen. So let me give you one example. Okay, let's don't talk about the very difficult statistic model. Let's imagine we are talking about radiation. Okay, if someone exposed under the radiation, so you expose to all this radiation, let's say X-ray or what. Okay, so what is the certain deterministic effect that you can have? So let's say this is a cancer patient. He or she went through the radiation. So what is the deterministic effect is, you will see there is a hair loss. Okay, you will see that patient may have some skin injury. Okay, after the radiation, skin injury. So this is the certainty deterministic effect that we can observe. What about the uncertain or the stochastic effect when you have high exposure under this radiation? It could become a leukemia. Okay, it could become a leukemia effect. Or maybe it will have some hereditary effect. Okay, or maybe this is a normal people. If under the high radioactive, it could be cause the cancer, or very, very high radioactive, it could bring to it could be die. The person under high radioactive for long term, it could be even cause the die. Okay, so this is the uncertainty, the stochastic effect. Okay, so when you build the prescriptive decision model, usually there are two types, deterministic part and the stochastic part. All right. Okay, very good. Okay, so last part, 6 problem solving phase. This question also come out in the partial question. You are asked to explain or describe or discuss the 6 problem solving phase using an example of business analytic project. So the first phase will be recognize a problem. There are so many problems in your industry that you want to solve. So recognize which problem you want to solve. And then define the problem clearly so that everyone understands the problem. Then you're structuring the problem in a way that it can be solved. And then you analyze the problem. For example, you use the decision tree, you use the cause and effect diagram to find out the potential problem. And then you interpret and you make the decision how to improve the problem or how to solve the problem. After that, of course, you implement the solution. So this 6 phase, we call it as a problem solving phase in the business analytic project. Okay, so for more example, you can read the textbook given. All right. Okay, so that's all from me for today. Let me quick recap, just a quick recap what you need to know. Okay, so as we mentioned, the 4V of the 5V, sorry, we cover the 5V of big data. You need to know what are the 5V. Can you type in the chat box? I want the 5V. Hello, if you're not responding, I need to pass to Dr. Ng already. Okay, I can see volume, veracity, okay, value, verity. Okay, yeah, very good. I can see Elaine typed up all the 5V, volume, velocity, verity, value, and veracity. Very good. Okay, what are the 4 types of business analytics? Can you type in the chat box? What are the 4 types of business analytics? I'm trying to help you do revision. What are the 4 types of business analytics? Descriptive, predictive. Try to put in sequence. Okay, Hanisa put out the answer. Very good. Hanisa put out the 4 answers: descriptive, diagnostic, predictive, and prescriptive. Very good. Okay, now I want to know are the 4 types of measurement scale. Can you type the 4 types of measurement scale in the chat box? Okay, I see ratio. Start from nominal, follow the sequence. For the measurement scale, the sequence important. You start from nominal, ordinal, interval, and then ratio. Okay, so I think Zhen Ding is the first one answer all the correct answer. Okay, and then my last question here, what are the 3 forms of model used in business analytics? 3 forms of model used in business analytics. Okay, written, visual, and the mathematical model. Very good. I think the first faster answer come out from Tan Yao Xiang. Okay, thank you. Okay, so with that, I end the session for chapter 1 and I pass it to Dr. Ng. Okay, don't leave because you are supposed to do your trial run on the quiz so that you know what strategy you can play next week when you have the actual quiz. Okay, next week you will have your actual quiz. Dr. Ng, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, I pass it to you. Thank you.
Okay, so we have 15 minutes left, so I think we have time. So let me share one slide first regarding the quiz, okay? So I'd like to repeat again, right, for the quiz, especially this is only for those from ABW 501. I believe that there are also ABW 501B, the EMB students are here, right? Don't worry, during the quiz session, you may also join, right? You may also join to experience how the quiz conducted live during the class. Okay, so yeah, can you see the screen? Now, I need to be very clear here, right? Because it is a quiz. So number one student, one device. Take note on that. One student, one device. Basically, every student can only join using one device. Please take note that you can only join using one device. Okay, and during the quiz session, right, you have to write your full name and group numbers. Basically, within the question, there will be 2 questions asking about full name and also group number. So you just input accordingly. If there is no full name and group number, right, you will be disqualified. The particular student, right, will be disqualified. Now, not only that, right, if any member who is found joining the quiz using 2 devices or joining twice, means that you joined 2 times, right, the entire group will be disqualified. For example, let's say one student from group number 1, right, group number 1. In the system, we found that the student joined twice. What happened is the whole group number 1 will be disqualified and become 0 for the particular quiz. Okay, I need to be very clear here, right? Because we actually encounter situation where there are students who join twice, join 2 devices at the same time when during the quiz. So we do not want to happen. We do not want that to happen. That's why we want to mention it very clearly here now. Now, if you understand this disqualification, can you please give me a thumbs up? At least you know regarding the quiz. Okay, we will have a try run later. Just a try run, don't worry. Next week we'll do the quiz improper. Then the real thing will happen next week, yeah? Okay, good. Now, in terms of technical issue, don't worry, right? Because we are using quizzes and a lot of students are joining the quizzes at the same time, right? So technical issues like system hang, connection issues are very, very common. Very, very common, right? So if your quiz hang and get stuck, right? Don't panic. You don't have to rejoin. Because remember, quiz is a group assignment, correct? Quiz is a group assignment. We only select the highest score from each group, which means that let's say 8 of you join the quiz, I will only pick the highest mark. which means that if you join, if your device hang, don't panic. You don't have to rejoin. What you can do is you can support other members. Let's say you are doing the quiz together, right? Yeah, if you're doing the quiz together, you can support other members who are doing the quiz. Okay, so in case if there's any reporting issues, like if there's any technical issues that you couldn't solve, please post in the main WhatsApp group. Okay, at least Dr. Aisha, me, and Dr. Teh can actually address your technical difficulties in the main WhatsApp group. So avoid sending personal message, because when you post in the main WhatsApp group, all three of us can actually tackle your problems. Okay, so if you are able to understand a very simple rules and regulation, right? Can you please type 1 in the chat box? Okay, yeah. So we will do a quick trial run. This trial run is specifically for chapter 1, the chapter that you already studied, chapter number 1. Okay. So for chapter number, okay, I will start now. Okay, give me a second, Okay, so yeah, one student, one device, yeah. The best is if you can use phone to join, it will be easier. Okay, can you join using the link? Okay, you can also join using this link. Okay, join using the link and type the code 803075. Now, for this particular platform, right, you can write any name. Don't worry, you can write any name, but make sure inside the question, you have to write your full name and also the room, right? I'll give you 3 minutes to log in. 3 minutes. We will start the quiz at 8:51. 8:51. So everybody, please try. Please join using one device. Let's say you join. You got hang, right? Okay, don't rejoin. Right, don't rejoin, because if you rejoin, you will join using 2 devices. Okay, like this. I give you an example here, right? I give you an example. You see that 803075. You see, this is the example of people joining 4 times. Can you see that? 803075. These particular devices are joining 4 times. Okay, got sound effect. Let me off the sound. Okay, can you hear right now? Okay, now if you notice this example, right? Can you see that 803075? Can you hear now? Can you hear? You can hear, right?
Yes, now we can hear. Just now
Okay.
the background noise.
Okay, I already off. Thank you so much. Now, this particular student actually joined 4 times. Can you see that? 803075, 4 times. So in that situation, there will be a risk. There will be a risk of the group disqualified. So when you join once, you only join once. All right. I do not know why this student joined 5 times. See, 5 times already. Who is this student? 803075. Who is this student? You are joining 5 times already. Okay, 5 times. I need to remove. It's the join code. You have to write your name. Why do you put your join code? You have to write your name. Okay. You don't put join code. So let me check. Or they put the join code. Don't put join code, right? Let me see. Is there anyone joining? Okay. Okay, everyone still joining? How many students I have right now? In total, I have about 518 students. See, this one is an example, right? See, Lin Mei Ling also joined twice. Can you see that? Okay, this student joined twice. I mean, by the rough ideas of the name, right, that you have written here, I will know that you joined twice, but in a quiz later on, you also need to input your name. Okay. Now, this is also the one that joined twice. Okay, I'll start now. Get ready. So when I start now, you should be able to see the question. All right. So let's start now. So typically, the first question will ask you to write your full name. So please write your full name as per the e-learning, right? Please write your full name as per the e-learning. Okay, you are given 1 minute to write your full name. 1 minute. So please try. Better in capital, right? Better in capital. For ODL students, you can also join. You can also write your full name, right? Just join, write your full name. But whatever that you have done for this quiz, right, it will not be counted for ODL quiz, because for ODL quiz, you have to do it in the ODL platform. Okay, so to answer your question, right, write your name in capital letter. It will be much better. Okay, write your name in capital letter. For ODL, you can also do it, but it will not be counted for your ODL quiz marks. For ODL procedure, it is very similar. Very simple for ODL students, right? If you're doing the exercises for this week, the way you do the quiz will be exactly the same with your exercise. So later on, after 9, you can actually do the exercises for chapter 1. The way you do it for quiz will be exactly the same with the exercise. So if you can do the exercise, you can do the quiz. So Hong, you can actually try. Any issue, you can always type in our in the ODL WhatsApp group. Yeah. Okay, there are also a lot of people still writing their name. Please take note. How come? If you can't access the ODL, don't worry, because as I mentioned, right, it is a group assignment. So as long as, okay, number one, for those who do not have the access of the ODL, don't worry, because the quiz will be open for 2 weeks for ODL students. The quiz will be open for 2 weeks. But once you start the quiz, the timer will start. Okay, once you start the quiz, the timer will start, yeah? Okay, so I will go to the next question, yeah? Okay, the next question, typically you have to write your group number. So how do you write your group number? You write group, if let's say, if you look into your file, right? If you're group number 1, you write group number 1. 1, you write 1. If you're group number 5, you write 5. So for those who are from Dr. Aisha's group, right, you write the group number based on the number that you have actually registered in the Google Sheets, right? Okay, so just write your number. Now, group number is important because you're representing, you're representing your group, right? So if your group number missing, then your input will not be counted for your group. So far, any questions, any issue to do the quizzes in quizzes? Is it running smoothly for all of you? What happened, Ian? Okay, working fine. Okay, oh, good. Okay, okay. No issue. Okay, it's smooth. Because this is a trial run, right? So if you have any issue regarding this platform, let me know. Okay, let me know. Okay, this is a trial run. So we just try. We just try. Okay. Now, typically for quiz, you have time limit. So please take note. Now, if you have disconnected, right, Hidayat, if you have disconnected, it's fine. You don't have to rejoin. You just help your friend, help your team members. If you're doing the quiz together, right, you can help your team members. Better not rejoining, because if you rejoin, if I see 2 input, right, then you'll be disqualified. Okay. So make sure you are in a very good strong internet connection, yeah, so that you can do the quiz smoothly. Okay. So we have another 30 seconds. I don't know why the seconds are. Typically for quizzes, you will be given 1 minute, 1 minute time limit for each question. Okay, 1 minute time, 1 minute typically. Depending on question, if there are certain questions where you have calculation, then more time limit will be given. Okay, okay, done already. Now, here, see, I do not know why, because there are only about 244 responses. I don't know where are the other students doing. All right, so 481 students joined, but only 244 responses collected. I do not know. All right, so let's take. What if there's a typo error? There's nothing you can do. So when you input, make sure you type correctly. All right. Okay, let's go into the next question now. Okay, go to question number 1. Now for this, okay, for these exercises, right, I only set the limit of 30 seconds. 30 seconds. So, but in a proper quiz, you'll be given 1 minute for every question. All right. But for this, I make it 30 seconds just to test run only, because the questions are pretty simple. Okay. If you have actually followed the lesson earlier on, you should be able to answer. Okay. For question number 1. So what are the things that users past and current data to make decision? Okay, so if you follow the lesson, you should be able to answer. Okay. Can you send a QR code? QR code. Now you can look here. You can go to this link and put the code to join. Okay. I need to end. How come it's so slow? That's why we need a trial run. Okay, next question. The result will not be out. Okay, can you try the next question? Optimization. Still loading, wait, there's some technical issue, that's why we need a try run here. But has anyone tried? Can, okay, loading, can, first they can. Loading, cannot see, cannot, someone say can click the synchronize button, can you try? Loading, let me try and see. Refresh the page, can someone try to refresh the page? Okay. Someone say click the sync button. So when this happens, make sure you click the sync button. Okay, or maybe this way. You try first, then next week, before we do our quiz, we can try another round of test run. Okay, you can try first. Okay, funny. Okay, I go to the next question. Yeah. Can you try the next question? Okay, good. Try the next question. Okay, good. Yeah, I guess the next lesson we have to do another round of trial. I'll see what are the ways you can do to ensure that you can do it without any interruption. Okay. Okay, can you try? In a real quiz, we will have 10 questions. In a real quiz, we will have 10 questions, yeah? Okay, good. Who has a problem of not able to answer? Now it's already 9. My son already entered the room. So you will be able to hear my son's voice. Azra, we'll be using this particular platform, same platform for real quiz. Okay, we go to the next question, yeah? For double entry, turning off, switching off, it will not consider. It will not consider as a second entry. Second entry is where you rejoin again. You re-enter the name. How about this? Can you try? There are still people trying answer by 20 over students. Can you refresh? Can you refresh? I think we need to try a different way. Yeah, always use the same platform. No, refresh will not count as a secondary login. Okay, or maybe this way. Can we try one more time? I think, yeah, I know time is running out. Can we try one more time? And then, but I use a different way to conduct the quiz. Can you try? Can we try one more time? Can we try one more time? I will end the assessment now. You rejoin. Okay, I changed a different way to conduct. Okay, give me a moment. We need to take another 10 minutes. Okay, let's try one more time. Okay, let's try one more time. No. These questions will not be counted towards your grade. It's just a try and error, right? Just to try before we have the actual quiz next week. Okay. You can scan the QR code. Huh? Just write group number will do. Just write group number will do. If you want the link, then the code. Hey, sorry, give me a second. Then use the code. Okay. Okay, we'll start in 1 minute time. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'll start now, right? Okay, try. Now this time you will have to do the quiz yourself. Then I will stop the quiz. I'll stop the quiz after 10 minutes. Means that you will next the question yourself, right? But I will stop the quiz at 9:23. Let's see whether this one we have any issue or not. Okay, this is a different way of conducting the quiz. If you have any issue with this, you let me know, so that we can rectify the issue together. So far, you have any issue in doing this? No issue, good. If there's no issue, then perhaps in a subsequent quiz, we will use this method. Did the answer appear after every question? You may also comment. Is there any other answer appear? Yes, answer appear, right? Okay, good.
Hi, doctor. Sorry for disturbing.
Yep.
I want to ask about the group name. The question is appear middle of the questions.
It's okay. You can just write
The
accordingly.
sequence. Okay, thank
No
you.
problem. No
Thank you,
problem.
doctor.
Because
Okay.
I think for quiz, I will look into the setting again to ensure that the questions are sequential. I will do that.
Okay, sure. Thank you,
But
doctor.
now
so much.
we need to try whether is there any issue or not using this way of conducting the quiz. You will listen to my son's noise because he's in USM now. I am supposed to pangkang today. I'm supposed to finish work at 9. Every question during the quiz, it will be at least 1 minute. At least 1 minute. At least 1 minute, depending on the difficulty of the question. If the question need you to calculate, right, then you will have 1.5. All done. Perhaps 10 minutes is too much, right? Yeah, total of 7 questions only actually. This way better, right? Okay, good. Yeah, 1 minute per question typically, right? Then 1.5 or 2 minutes for calculation question if there are calculation questions. Typically, quiz will be 10 questions, yeah, 10 questions. Okay, from my side, I can see that most of you all have completed, yeah? Anyone still doing? Finish, good. Finish, good. We will keep it open for another minute, then I'll stop, right? 1 more minute. For your result, you will not get the result immediately. Typically, we will not show the result after each quiz. For today's testing, yes, 30 seconds only. For the actual one, 1 minute. Okay, I will stop the session now. Okay, so that's all from me. So I hope that you have the experience of doing the quiz. So I will pass it back to Dr. Tang if you have anything to share. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Ng, and thank you very much all the students for staying back to try the quiz. For next week quiz, it is for conventional student using the Quizizz, and for the ODL student, the quiz will only posted in the ODL platform after the conventional student completed it. So after 9 p.m., we will open the quiz in the ODL platform. For the USM at KL student, there are some of you are USM at KL student. Next week, quiz 1, you are not involved. You are not involved. Dr. Ng will tell you your quiz later. Okay, so take note now, 3 batch of different students. Conventional student, next week, the quiz 1 is live on WebEx. Okay. For ODL student, after 9 o'clock, we will post the quiz to the ODL platform. Different, you are not doing the quiz like them. Okay. And then for the USM at KL student, you also no need to join this quiz. Okay. All right. So that's all. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Doctor.
Welcome.